What's up, everyone? This is David Greenspan, and you are listening to the Mindshare Podcast, a proud member of the Industry Syndicate Media Network. Additional podcasts are available at industrysyndicate.com and mindshare101.com. This week's episode is sponsored by Kit's Keep in Touch Systems. This is episode 54. Now, just before we get started today, I just want to mention that in February, we are going to be starting another Mindshare Challenge. And for those of you that are not familiar with the Mindshare Challenge, this is a 60-day group training program, everything facilitated by live webinar. So you guys will lock in, you'll have a dashboard, the entire thing is gamified, so we're going to be holding you accountable. We're going to be pushing you to step out of your comfort zone, do the things you know you need to do, help you with the challenges you know you have. Bottom line, I am going to get you ready to pump and crush it in the spring market. So we're going to be running from February 11th. We're going to be finishing on March 31st, just in time for April. And I want everybody to join up. Now, the beautiful thing, too, is that normally priced at $397, we're going to be knocking 40% off for a limited time. So as soon as registration opens, I'm going to let everybody know about that. I'm going to be circling that through my social medias, on my website. We're going to be putting out emails about that. So for anybody that is not yet following me on social, I love the fact that you listen to the podcast. Make sure you check me out, Mindshare 101 on Facebook, at David Greenspan 101 on Instagram. You will certainly, through both those channels, be aware of what's going on, and we will give you the registration links. Again, though, you want to take your business to another level, we go through everything. We go through time management, and we're going through budgeting and marketing plans and referral strategies and social medias and videos and websites, landing pages. We're going to talk about prospecting. We are going to bring it all together so that you have a powerful set of tools on that superpower, that superhuman tool belt that you carry. We're going to take you next level. We are going to help you crush it in 2020. You're going to achieve your goals. You are going to get to where you want to go. So again, the Mindshare Challenge, check it out on my website. Keep in touch, stay focused, pay attention. We will be letting you know when that 40% off comes out. It will be for a limited time only, so I really highly recommend you all jump on board. So, like myself, he spends his days being a breath of fresh air to the real estate industry. While many real estate coaches help realtors perfect their craft and buy leads, he instead reminds realtors that it's in the organic aspect of social media where the most opportunity is being left on the table. Although he's not super techie like most social media people, he prides himself on keeping it simple and helping even the most tech-challenged realtor experience their light bulb moment. Passionate about empowering realtors to discover and leverage their personal stories and experiences to attract people like them, he has helped realtors attract millions of dollars in buyers and sellers without spending a dime, and often without even having to mention real estate. And he, bottom line, loves helping people get where they want to go. Today on the Mindshare Podcast, I am joined by Coach Kyle Draper. Kyle, thank you for being here, my man. I know you are right now sort of hanging with the Dallas Cowboys or something like that. You said you're somewhere around
something
the Dallas
like
Cowboys.
That. Yeah. I'm out at Lawyer's Title in at Dallas Cowboy headquarters and at the Star in Frisco.
That's cool, man. So are we gonna have any any cameos from anybody pop on?
Probably not. I don't think I'm cool enough to have any of that.
We're pumped you're here. Are you crazy? What are you talking about?
Dude, I'm pumped to be here. My intro sounded pretty cool with you reading.
You know what, man? It's we got to do something to spice up the show. I figured too much of my voice though, it could be bad. So
I was watching, I think you had Marky on a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
And I think like her intro took you like 11 minutes.
Yeah, dude.
Because it was like best-selling author, best this, international this. And then I was like, man, and then he's going to have me on. And I better go where the Cowboys are. So something is cool about
now I'm getting the play of what's going on here.
That's right.
No, man. You know what? Marky was wicked. Lots of fun. I'm sure you've spoken with her before. She's a lot of fun to talk to.
She's awesome.
She does definitely have a great resume. But no, man, I've been looking forward to this one. Like, I know we bumped into each other much the same at NAR in San Fran, like whatever it was yesterday, but probably 6 weeks ago or something. We didn't get much time to catch up. But it was kind of like we said what's up, and then it was like, I don't know if you like checked out my stuff, but I definitely checked you out on social. I'm like, yeah, dude, like I got to catch up with this guy, right? Like,
yeah.
But seriously, tell me about this. Convenience doesn't make you money.
Yeah. Did you like that? Or maybe
Dude,
you liked
that,
it. I guess we're
man.
about to find out.
Yeah, dude, I like that. I wanted you to share that because I was looking through and I was, like, go ahead.
So here's a story with that. I was putting on a full day event at a Keller Williams office in Lubbock, Texas, out in, West Texas. And at the very end, right, like I'd poured my heart and soul out to these people. And at the very end, this really nice realtor raised her hand and literally said this verbatim. This is her words. Like, it just doesn't seem like anything you've taught us today is convenient. And I never heard it. No one's ever said that to me before. And so, right, like I'm in this moment going, how critical am I about to choose to be of this sweet young girl who knows no better? And in that moment, I had these words pop into my mind of, you know what? Convenience doesn't make us money. Like, name one thing in your life that you've created convenience around that is healthy and growing, right? And as I said it, I went, holy cow, I'm going to teach on that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've been married for 10 years, and it's not because we accidentally got here, right? Like, it's intentional. We're very intentional in our marriage. I feel like I have great kids because I'm an intentional dad. Nothing about my marriage or my family is convenient. It takes work. And so when we get into video marketing and putting yourself out there, just doing this, like, this is super awkward. Like, I don't know what you're going to ask me, right? Like,
ready and willing though. I love it.
But it's what's necessary. Like, this is how you put more people in front of Mindshare. This is how I get new audience members, right? By being a guest on a podcast. And all of it is inconvenient. I had to drive an hour across town just to be in this office.
Dude, it took me literally, I drove probably 45 minutes this morning on a drive that should have been 20 because of a snowstorm.
Yeah.
Not convenient.
So I tell realtors now, guys, if you're looking for the convenience switch for your social media, just go ahead and admit that it'll never make you money and stop doing it.
Yeah, because I gotta say, Facebook itself is not even convenient anymore.
No.
Like, it is a pain in the ass. There are so many features. Yeah. I mean, like stupid little things. Like, I mean, even sharing out this podcast today, trying to tag you, like we're friends. So Facebook, why won't you just let me tag the guy? Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I can go and do it and then go edit it. And it, like, it'll find like other Kyles, but it won't find you. Cause like, I want you, but if I had like another Kyle on, it would find you for sure.
Right.
That's not convenient.
No,
that's a pain in the ass, but it is a necessary evil for our business.
100%.
So what were you going off about then in that particular session where this lady, I mean, this was what, social media training, video training? I know you do a lot of both of those.
Yeah, it was just a full day of social media. So we talked all things Facebook, Instagram, a little bit of ads. Like, ads isn't really my sweet spot, but I know just enough to be stupid.
Yeah, likewise.
And so we talked a ton about video because that's really my niche. And again, it's all uncomfortable to most people because most realtors, right? The average age of a realtor in America is still over 50. So they didn't grow up with a phone in their hand. They didn't grow up with a Facebook page, right? So they grew up knowing how to sell stuff, which is how they got good at real estate. And now we've introduced all of this technology that is just totally backwards to the majority of people. And so, it was inconvenience. So, but I'm so glad she said it because I think it now provides me the opportunity to really open people's minds up to, man, pushing that convenience button does not make your business better.
Right. I think that's a big, I mean, hey man, that's where Mindshare started building a voice.
Yeah.
Is that, you, especially, going to school for marketing and playing in this arena for the past, like, almost 2 decades of my life in marketing and real estate. It's, you hear a lot. You get fortunate to learn a lot from a lot of different people. And one thing that we have learned is everybody, and I mean, I think that this is kind of normal to human nature, is that people do look for what's convenient, what is easy,
Right.
what is, and I mean, I did a full keynote on this called The Path of Least Resistance. They look for the easiest way to make things happen. And when things are easy, then the brain naturally goes down that road and says, well, that's the way I want to go. And so 100%. When it comes to marketing and it comes to getting ourselves out there, we're looking for the most convenient way to do that. And I mean, it's funny because when I read that convenience doesn't make you money, I thought about a slide that I'd put into one of my presentations, and it's sort of been in there ever since. But money is not the solution to complacency, right? That's you good. Cannot believe that just because you're going to go spend some money that you're going to get the result that you're looking for. It doesn't work that way.
100%.
You know,
and here's and David, I think we would agree on this. Like, what I think the real problem is that with all these iBuyers now moving in, and so many aspects of the real estate transaction can be digital, can be, machine done. The only thing, in my opinion, that a realtor has to offer at this point is relationship. Like, that's it.
Man, absolutely.
And so they have to be relational. They are the brand, right? Like, it's so funny, I guess realtors are notorious for having a 10-year-old picture on their business card, and it's like, what are you doing? Whether you like it or not, like, you're the face of this whole thing. So why are you hiding behind, like, you're old or you're fat or you're this or you're that? Like, because you look like that regardless of what you think.
Yeah, that's what I say to people. Like, whenever you're looking at it in the mirror, you realize that's the same thing like everybody sees all the time, right?
and so it just blows my mind, that people want to hide behind so much stuff when, like, you're the only thing that's better than a machine is you, the real person.
Well, and if you want to continue to remain relevant in this business, you better stay involved, because if you allow the technology 100%. To get in between you, you're gone. You're lost. The industry's going to lose. Right. So let me ask you this then. So, because so many people are missing the mark when it comes to the organic side of social media, right? And back to exactly this, right? Convenience doesn't make you money. Money's not the solution to complacency, all this stuff. And you go, okay, but I just don't have the time. I'm going to go hire somebody to do my social media. They're going to put out all my stuff. I don't have to worry about it. They got it under control. And you know what? Yeah. They got it. And I don't have to do it. Right. Because nobody wants to spend the time. Now, it does come back, though, to what you sort of just said there. And I do agree. Right. But what about the way I look? What about the way I sound? What about the way people perceive me? What if I don't say something right? I'm not really good on camera. I don't know what to do. The people I get it. For the people that did not grow up with it, they're going, you want me to stick a camera in front of my face now? I didn't need this 25 years ago when I started my career, or 40 years ago. I don't need that. I don't need it then. I didn't need it now. I'm fine. You go, okay, cool. And again, there are, Kyle, I will say there are places right there where I will tell people that's all good. If you don't want to embrace that, and you are flying, and you've got a wonderful referral strategy, and you know how to hit those phones and connect with people, the old dogs and the old school, I'm down. Because I do believe that real estate is a mix of the new and the old. I believe you need that. But for the folks that are in today that are used to these things and are going, I want to do all the online stuff and the text message. My clients don't want to pick up or talk to me on the phone. It's important to understand for that group, you need the old school, the old school tricks of the trade. You need to know how to hit those phones. You need to know how to spark up conversation. You need to know how to, when you're in line getting your coffee, how to say something to somebody, rather than head buried on the phone, right? It's okay to be introverted, but at the same time, you need to have that extrovert in you if you're going to be in a people business, which we're in a people business. Like, that's reality. Yeah. So what do you say to people then if you get that person that goes, but I'm just scared. I don't know, what are they going to think? What if they don't like me? Right. What do you say to that? Because you get that all the time. So, and I'm not, man. I know I sound like I'm mocking the person that's saying that, and I'm not trying to be an asshole about it. It is something that comes up often. And again, I'm not poking fun at that person, because I've had many of these deep conversations with people. I'm trying to help them get past that. And I think for each person it's individual, but I know you hear that. What are the types of things you tell people?
100%. So I tell them several things. The first thing that I walk them through is I ask people, have you ever had coffee with a friend? Right, which to 99% of people are like, yeah, bro, I've had coffee. There's always that one person that's like, I don't drink caffeine. So I've had to change it to say, like, have you ever had liquid with a human?
Okay.
Right. If you've ever had liquid with a human, right? I ask them 3 questions. I say, did you wear a ski mask into that meeting? Right. And again, like, I'm being facetious, right? To prove a point. And their answer is no. I asked them if does Canada know who Kanye West is, right? Kanye's in Canada,
of course,
right?
Man.
Yeah. So I asked them, like, did you borrow Kanye's auto tuner at that appointment, right? Because you wanted your voice to sound cool.
That gets me, like, total sidebar over there. I don't understand how they call that music. And then this guy gets like awards for like singing and stuff. Like, dude, that's like whatever you call it, synthesizer computer.
I know. It's whatever. It's terrible. But so then I asked them, Dave, if we were having coffee, 5 minutes in, would I go, bro, I'm pretty much out of stuff to say to you. Like, but it was great to see you. Like, this was super cool. Let's do it again sometime. No, you probably were there an hour longer than you intended to be because you talked about everything other than your business.
Right.
And so my whole premise for doing this is, guys, the same people that you have coffee with are the same people that watch your videos.
Right.
So if you're not afraid to go into a coffee shop without a ski mask on, it's literally no different than what you and I are doing being in front of a camera, right? And so that's kind of the first angle that I take with people is, unless you've literally pulled into Starbucks and gone, I can't do this. I can't go in there. I cannot go in there. And you drove away like a lunatic. Yeah. Unless that's you, you're already breaking down the barriers that are required to do video. You just have to see it from a fresh perspective. Right?
I love that analogy, man. You're about to go into the coffee shop. You're like, I can't do it. You're just pulling out in the car. But so I'm on Facebook. I'm watching you guys right now on this podcast, and I see it, but I haven't said anything yet. And I don't know if I should, because, like, these guys are on a live show. I don't know if I want to pop my head up and be like, hey, what's going on? Much the same, it could be anything else outside of this podcast. It could be, you're scrolling Facebook. And I mean, you guys had the BlackBerry, right?
Oh, yeah.
Did you have a BlackBerry?
Yeah.
You ever play Brick Breaker?
Oh, yeah.
Remember Brick Breaker?
I remember
Facebook
Brick Breaker.
is the new Brick Breaker. We don't even know why we are there most of the time. We are just there, right? We find ourselves there. It's like, oh, shit, I'm on Facebook again.
Yeah.
Or scrolling Insta or whatever, right? So if you're going to be there, back to be intentional with it, do something about it, you've got to say something. Poke your head up. And the more you poke your head up, and I think my video this week that I just released, I'm pretty sure, the one on Monday that I just released, basically talk to that, is you're there. So if you say something, the person who makes the noise gets the attention. Oh, 100%. I don't want attention. I don't want people looking at me. Hold your shot. Hold right there. Are you not in a people business? Do you not want people to realize who you are and what you do? Right. So, I mean, how can then people?
So here's, I'm considering drawing it on the board, but I don't know if, like, the camera if it would really work. But a lot of times when I'm teaching, I'll draw a linear timeline. Yeah. Right. So day 0 is, let's say you sold me a house today, right? That's day 0. And then every room's different, right? Depending on the state that I'm in. But how many years is it going to be until I'm ready to sell this house that you just sold me today?
7 to 12
3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, right? Every market's different.
Yeah.
But let's say 7. This blows my mind. And I hope this is a light bulb moment for somebody that's going to watch this. The real estate industry's plan for keeping my attention for 7 years is to pitch me more of what I just bought. Right? You think about it. What do most realtors have set in place? Well, I'm going to put Kyle on a drip campaign. I'm going to get a monthly newsletter, and it's going to have interest rates, and it's going to have a market report, and it's going to have my featured listings. All things he doesn't give a flying flip about because he just bought a house, right? And then we're going to do that for 7 years in hopes that we haven't annoyed the crap out of him. Sorry, I'm back. I got a phone call, right? In hopes that I haven't annoyed the crap out of him and he still cares, right? 7 years later. And so what I try to help people understand is, guys, who gives a crap if you get my business again 7 years from now? I have 7 referrals to give you between now and then if you will keep my attention for the right reasons. And so I think people are actually playing small by just hoping to keep people for the second round of business when they could be on transaction 7, 8, 9, or 10 if they're playing their cards right.
So what can they do then?
Doing what we're talking about, right? Just being top of mind. That's my Facebook group. Yep. So you have Mindshare, yep, which when I heard you say it at NAR was like, dang it, that is way cooler than my group. And so you already had it. So I couldn't have it. So my group is top of mind selling, right? Because I believe that people know what we do. People know what you do for a living. People know what I do for a living. So we don't need to remind them every day, right, hey, just in case you forgot, like, I'm a social media coach, and if you need anything, like, help, like, I'm here to help. Yeah. No, I just need to be present daily, because I don't know when that moment is going to happen where you're ready to know what your home's worth, or where you got that call from the boss that says, we're moving you to another place. And now you're waking up going, holy crap, we got to sell our house, right? And I've got to be present when that moment strikes.
I love it, man. Because I got another keynote called
doing open house videos.
Yeah, like I'm doing a keynote right now called "Be in the Right Place at the Right Time."
100%, dude.
It's just exactly what we're saying.
Why do you give cooler names to everything that I do?
Yeah, dude, listen, I am going to direct everybody to go to your website after, because I was going through that yesterday, through all the topics and everything. This stuff is badass, you know? And I was saying, like, I'm trying to figure out a name for today's podcast. And I'm like, just cool conversation, you know?
Man.
Dude, no, it's so. Okay, tell me this then. So we're doing the social media thing. We're sitting here touting social media for a moment. We're talking about Facebook. We're talking about getting involved and sort of, be there, extend on the conversation. For everybody, again, who's got that fear of saying something, just say something. It's amazing what happens when you just say something, And so often I get from people, well, what do you say? And I mean, I make the real lighthearted joke to people of like, just say hi. Say hello. How are you?
Sure.
It's amazing what somebody else is going to say in response to that. And then where the conversation can go from there. And you do not need to talk about business. So if you have a dog, or if you like hockey, or you like the Dallas Cowboys, or whatever, talk about it, right?
100%.
How often for me, I will talk about the Leafs, and I will get somebody who is, and I know this is very hard to find, but somebody who's actually not a Leafs fan, go figure, like why people wouldn't be Leafs fans. But anyways,
that's crazy.
I'll get somebody who's not, and they'll want to now banter back and forth.
Yeah.
Beautiful. We can go off with each other for half an hour. Next time you see
each
other.
Let me break it down. So with all of my coaching clients, and really any realtor that would say, Kyle, I don't know what to talk about, my first question back to them is, what have you been reading, watching, or listening to lately?
Nice.
Okay. Now this is twofold. One, most of them, when someone tells me they're in a content rut, their answer to that question is nothing. They're consuming no content, which means from a brain perspective, we've slowed our brain down because we're not feeding it creativity. We're not feeding it new ideas, new thoughts, new processes. And so it's slowed down. So it literally is harder to create content because our brain isn't functioning at the level that it's capable of. Mm-hmm. Right? So that's always issue number one. So I'll tell my clients, that book that you bought a year ago that like is still sitting on your desk, go pick it up and read 5 pages and tell me if a video idea doesn't pop in your head.
Right.
Right. So that's my default go-to. Then the second part of this is, I tell people all the time that, to be a New York Times bestselling author, you only have to sell like 20,000 books in a certain amount of time. And if you compare that to the 360 million people that live in America, 20,000 is a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
Right? So to be a New York Times best-selling author, that's like the most renowned title you could have in that industry. You have to sell to a fraction of a percent of people. And here's why this matters. What I take from that is no one is reading. Right? Way less people are consuming podcasts than should be consuming podcasts.
0.00005.
Yeah.
That's
right?
sick. Oh my God. When you put it in that perspective,
to be the market leader, right?
Wow.
That's the pinnacle.
That's
so
sick.
It just shows me people aren't reading. So here's why I'm saying all this. If I get on, look at this. So in my backpack right here beside me, like this is the book that I've been reading lately.
Mindset, the New Psychology of Success.
Okay.
Love it.
So literally, if I'm struggling with content, I can turn to any page in here, right? I can go look at something I've underlined. So like, look at this. Here's a question in this book. When do you feel smart? When you're flawless or when you're learning? That's a whole video. I could do a 3-minute video.
For real.
I could go, guys, if you don't know who Carol Dweck is, you need to go pick this book up. And I want to just read you one question from it. And now I can create a whole stream of questions and comments and opinions off of all the work that Carol put in, knowing most people aren't going to go pick this up anyway.
Right.
I'd rather hear David's 3-minute, Reader's Digest version of what you got from it than go invest the hours it's going to take me to do it myself.
No, there's not enough feeding of the brain. That's why I'm always touting Audible, right? Like get on Audible and start to feed the brain, right? The more you're doing that, the more you're getting the education in there, the more you're going to get the brain thinking. And it could be something that's going to help you with your business. It could be help you get out of rut on something. It could be help you spark, put content out there, and when we look at the social medias and the online and the technology, it could give you something to talk about with people. I mean, it's funny, we look at Facebook, right? And again, the socials and just on this topic, and I'm kind of going, because I read something that you put out there and we talk about the content and what to say. Like one of my most popular posts that I've had in like the recent weeks and months, most popular. Okay. You ready for this one?
Ready.
I went to Canadian Tire. I grabbed 2 packs of light bulbs, soft white and daylight. I couldn't figure out which one do I want to put in the light bulbs, in the basement, right? To light it up.
Yeah.
So I took a picture of both boxes stacked on top of each other. And I went, the hard decisions in life, soft white or daylight. Dude, that was, I think, over 2 weeks ago. Do you understand? I'm still getting comments on that one.
Oh, no.
Soft white or daylight. Are you, and people want to say they can't figure out what to put out for content? Yep. Shit, I put out stuff that is going to change your business. I put out stuff that is going to help you make more money. And no, you don't want to pay attention to that. But shit, the soft white and daylight, you are all over that app.
Yeah.
And then people again have a problem with trying to find content. Come on.
I think most realtors, though, right? Like they would say they're too good for something like that.
But why?
Right.
But that's what the social medias are about. Like here, I'm going to ask you, because I read this from your site. How can I use Facebook to move real estate and pick up clients? And I think that's the biggest thing is that everybody gets up in the morning, scroll the MLS, scroll Facebook. Oh, I worked so hard. I got to go for lunch. You did what? Okay, hold on. Were you intentional with what you did? So I come back to that again. How can they use Facebook when they're there? How can they be intent? How can they use it to move real estate and pick up clients?
We've talked about a lot of it, which is just being present. Right. It's just having a daily presence there. But I think another big piece of it is leveraging Messenger. Okay. Right. I teach an entire course on Messenger because of the power of it.
You're not talking like automated chatbots though.
No.
Grant Cardone is messaging me like every day. And I feel like I'm best friends with Grant Cardone. Shit, but the guy won't talk to me. It's
dude. Yeah, it's like, dude, you're messaging me every day. I thought we were homies.
Say what's up, bro.
So no, I'm talking about from your personal page, just investing into people. And so, for example, a big thing that I do is what I just call birthday videos. And the whole premise is, I woke up one day and thought, why do I write on people's walls on their birthday? Right? One, Facebook makes it super easy. I get a notification that says it's David's birthday. I want to write on his wall, right? But then two, I get 400 of those on my birthday.
Yeah.
And so I don't remember any of those people. Like, I'm grateful and I'm glad that I have people that care, but I don't remember them. So I thought, what if I started sending private videos through Messenger to people on their birthday? And it's evolved over the last couple of years to where now I pick a funny filter. So like the other day I did one as Santa. They have a Santa filter now.
All right.
And so I'm like a fatter version of myself, you know, with like a red nose and a beard and the hat. And I sing happy birthday to people. And they think it's hysterical. And I've picked up coaching clients because of birthday videos.
Well, I know when I messaged you or something, you messaged me at one point, you sent me a video. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a birthday video, but it was exactly the same idea. But it was the way you were talking. Concept. I thought that was, it was different.
It's a more intentional way to communicate.
Yeah.
Because you can see me and hear me, right? So you can see and hear the excitement in my voice. You can see my smile, right? And it makes me memorable to people. And the other thing we don't think about with Messenger, and then you go, is I don't need your phone number or email address. Right, like when in the world, when in the world, there's 1 billion people on Messenger. When in the history of the universe have we ever been able to personally pop in on somebody without having a phone number or email? It's crazy.
This to me is I love it. I mean, my wife will sing happy birthday to people, which is I mean, when I first heard her doing it, I thought it was a little bit awkward, but she gets tons of wicked responses because she does it through Messenger. And to me, this is mind share at a wonderful place. Okay. When you are, and everybody listening has to understand this, right? Mind share comes back to being that top mind, intuitive, instinctive reaction to a product or service. And so when somebody gets to not only see you, and I'm not talking just your name now, we're talking listening to you, watching you as a video, you know, seeing your name. Well, yeah, I love the paradigm right there is the fact that we haven't just posted on a wall so they've seen our name, but they've actually watched, they've seen, they've listened. We've hit 3 somewhat different senses there, rather than just one. And so now we're making a longer lasting impression. We're planting more of that seed. We're occupying a little more of that space on somebody's brain for that instant recollection. I love that. I love that a lot. And so here, no emails, no phone numbers. You can still connect. So why is Facebook? Because I read this one on your site as well. Facebook CRM. Yeah. I don't even know if Facebook coined the term Facebook CRM yet. You should probably talk to Marky over there. But not Marky Lemons. I'm talking Mr. Mark Zuckerberg, right? But Facebook CRM. Tell me about this one. Like, and it's so true, right?
It's this concept of, you know, we get so caught up in, oh man, are you using CRM? What CRM are you using? Oh, I have one, but I don't really use it. And the more I taught, I thought Facebook really is a CRM for our people. It is the greatest thing on the planet to have a collection of people who already know, like, and trust us. And if we would just view it that way, right? What if I invested 20 minutes into my Facebook as a CRM every day? I think people could be doubling their businesses that are more top of mind. They'll create more mind share inside of the minds of the people that they've already built trust and rapport with.
So what kind of things should they be doing then? What I mean, okay, so I've got my Facebook. I just kind of, you know, poked a little fun at the fact that, like, I got up this morning, I scrolled my Facebook, I scrolled my MLS, and I got to go for lunch, right? Yeah. What can I do when I get up in the morning? And I am going to caution everybody. One of my biggest things I can share with anybody is the first thing you do in the morning, do not look at Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Go get some vitamin D, go drink some water, go get your mind, your thoughts together, get into your world before you get into everybody else's world, or get
Right.
everybody
Sure.
else into your world, right? Like, you've got to
Yeah.
be there. You got to own that space. So, I mean, that's my first tip. But at that moment, when you go and you open up Facebook, because, hey, you're going to do it, what should people be doing? How can they be more intent? And again, we talked about this, be present, be there, whatnot, but I'm talking actual actions, right? Like,
Right.
I would suggest to people, like, have a goal. You want to
100%.
engage with 5 to 10 posts, and that could be liking them, loving them, commenting on them. That could be saying something to them. Have a goal. How many posts would you like to do today or this week, right? Be intentional with what you do. So what would you suggest to people there who are going, well, okay, I'm going to do it today. What should I do first?
So the several things that I would do. Well, the first is I'm going to plug, like, if for any realtors that get in my group, like, so I've created, it's a daily checklist for all the actionable things you should be doing on social media.
Look at that.
So that checklist is daily, weekly, monthly, is the way I broke it down. And so the first thing I would do is I would wake up and send birthday videos. Yep. Most people are going to have 3 to 5 birthdays a day, depending on how many friends they have. And so I can sing happy birthday in 12 seconds. So that's super fast. I can literally get out 5 videos in barely a minute, and I'm on about the next part of my day. For all the women watching, because of the filters, you don't even have to have makeup on, right? Like, you don't even have to have your hair done, because you're using a fun filter anyway. So it literally can be the first thing you do, and you don't have to go, well, I need to put my face on first, and I need to, get my hair done up, and right. So that's the first thing I do. The second thing is consider video. Right? Video is the only form of marketing that works for you, whether you're working or not. Right?
Explain
you
that.
And I. So I, like, at 10:30 today, I go speak at a real estate office. While I'm physically present in that room, loving on and creating value for that group of realtors, I will come back to my car to notifications of people who have liked, commented, and shared my videos that were days old, weeks old, months old, years old. Because I never know who's watching, right? Like you said off air before we started, right? That you had a radio station that reached out to you, and they told you, we've been watching you for 2 years.
Yeah.
Right? That statement isn't possible without your willingness to have put yourself on video consistently over time.
Right. A consistency.
Right? So that's I try to do, like, if I know that I'm going to be in like a 4-hour meeting, I will almost always do a video before I go into that meeting, so that I don't feel like I'm being unproductive. Because I know that while I'm in this meeting, that video is showcasing me to whoever's going to watch it.
So when we were, it's funny, I mean, video being such a hot topic the way it is, and when we were at NAR, I believe we both presented sessions on video. I mean, you presented a session on video. I presented a session on video. Hell, I don't even know how many other people presented sessions on video. So, video's a popular topic. And I know our buddy Marco, I just referenced there, said that Facebook would be, more than 50% video by 2020. Now, it's interesting because one of the first things that I had mentioned when I was on stage that day in San Fran was I posed the question, how many people here are using video for their marketing? And there was probably only about 50% of the room that put their hands up. Now, I don't know if there was, 200, 300, 400 people in there. I didn't really count. But only 50% of the people put their hands up. And then I said to those people, okay, keep your hands up for a second. I want to know how many of you are doing video consistently. And all of a sudden, shoom, and it was like you had like 10%, 15% maybe of the room left over that said they were actually doing it consistently.
Yep.
When I speak to people, and I just finished up our 8-week Mindshare Challenge back on November 26th, and we've got, another one starting in February. And one of the topics we talk about is video. And then here we are, and I challenge people to post up their videos, and you get people that are posting up videos, and they're like, oh my God, I'm so scared. This is the first time I'm ever doing it. And you're like, you are killing it. Like, you are so much better than you think you are at this video thing, right? And I mean, I'll tell you, I am some of the rawest video you can find because I am not getting the lights and all that other stuff. I mean, I've got, depending on the video we record, what it's for and all that stuff. But, typically speaking, it's me, my right arm and my phone, right?
Yeah.
No fancy microphone and all that other stuff. But it's in the consistency where I have found my success from it. Because you may not love this video. You may not love the next one. You might have loved one that I did 3 times ago, whatever it is. But a lot of people are scared. And so now we fast forward and we're doing all these interviews with people and we're asking people to join us on camera and, talk about their experience with the challenge and everything else. And, I'm getting people going, Dave, you're not getting me to do video. Like, it's not happening. I will not get on the camera. And so there are so few people doing video. What can people do? How do you tell people? Because I work with people all the time on this thing, and I teach on it all the time, and I love it. I think it's an amazingly fun topic.
Yeah.
But what do you tell people? Like, they're like, nah, I'm scared of the camera. Or it's so easy for you because, you do it all the time. And you're like, exactly. Like, that's all you got to do. Just keep doing it. But what do you do to get people to break the ice there?
So the first thing is I always turn to the mindset side, right? I believe that, I think I have a unique perspective because, I was a pastor for almost 10 years.
That's right. I was reading that in the bio for kids or something.
So I was a youth pastor. So I worked with 5th through 12th graders for almost a decade. And so, right, like I've invested into the emotional aspect of people at a totally different level than the average person has, right? Just because of what my profession was. And so what I've learned in doing this for almost 5 years now is when I'm looking, like I can see myself, right? Like as we're doing this right now, I can see me in my little square up here in the corner. And every time I look at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, how fat am I? Oh my gosh, is my beard uneven? Why is my eye twitching? Why is that? Right, like I've developed like a red dot right here on the tip of my nose. And like I see it all the time, even though most people don't see it. And the reason I'm saying all this is the moment we turn a camera on, it exposes every insecurity we have in our lives.
But isn't it really the same thing as when we get up and leave the house?
It 100% is. It 100% is. And so that's why the issue is a mindset issue. We view it different, even though it's not. Right? Because however fat I look on this camera is the same size human that's walking in to speak to a class in 45 minutes. Right? And so it's not different. And that's what we have to understand. And then here's the other thing. Gary V. Do you follow Gary V?
Yeah, here I'm, on and off all the time.
So he
on and off all
he
the time,
says, I heard him. He's got so much brilliant stuff.
There's great stuff there. And it's like, obviously if you're on social, you're going to pass by it. If you followed him, you're going to see the stuff. And then sometimes you tune in more, sometimes you tune in less, whatever. But he's got so much going on and he's so consistent.
In the
you can
moment.
Continue to tap in and out. Right.
And so something he said the other day is he said, why do we let the opinions of others keep us from our own personal happiness? And the moment I heard that, I thought about all the realtors that I've heard say, I'm just worried about like my sister will make fun of me if I start doing videos.
Right.
I'm just worried, like, what are my sorority sisters going to say? What are my parents going to think? And it's like, who gives a crap? Like, why are we allowing ourselves to struggle when we have the answer, right? You and I and people like Marky, like we're giving people the goods. Yet because of how strongly they value the opinions of other people, they won't change.
It's bottom line. That's what it is the opinions of other people.
100%.
I was having this with my brother-in-law. He was laughing at me, I don't know, a month ago or something. He's like, I remember, a few years back, we were having this argument. You were telling me forget social media and all this stuff. And I'm like, nah, man, like, I don't think I was saying that. And he's like, he pulls my sister and he's like, wasn't he saying that? And she was like, well, you weren't really like, this was like probably 5, 6 years. You weren't really all over it. You're kind of, whatever. Now look at you, like you're all over there. But there comes that point, I guess, where you make that revelation, you kind of jump into it. Now you're fearful. You're
Yeah.
worried. What are people going to think and whatnot? And there's some natural human stuff there. But as you do it more consistently, all those people that kind of at first went, what are you doing? You did a video? Now they're just used to it. And you are part of their social media fabric
100%.
of people who are putting out content and doing videos.
Yep. And here's what's super cool. So I run into people all the time that maybe like knew me from when I was a pastor or when I was a roofer, right? And they'll, like, the moment they see me, they're like, bro, you're killing it.
Yeah, I get that all the time from people.
I start laughing.
Yeah, me too.
and I go, man, like, I love that you think that. Like, why do you think that? Because, like, you don't have access to my bank account.
Right.
Like, you haven't been to hear me speak. And all of them say, I just see your videos on social media all the time.
Right.
I could literally be in my mom's basement recording videos, eating crackers every meal with no money, and people would think I was killing it.
Yep.
Because that's the perception. It's unbelievable. And so I want people thinking that I'm doing something, because that makes them want more of me. That makes them want to invite me to come speak at their event, right? I think in a weird way, our brains are wired that if I watch Leonardo DiCaprio in a movie and then I watch a David Greenspan video, my brain interprets them the same.
It's weird.
You ever thought about that? Like,
no, you know what? Like, I mean, what? Like, it sort of programs as celebrity status or something,
right? Yeah, and I think they're now. I'm not a you know, I don't even know how to say the word. I'm not a smart person to, like, I'm not a psychologist, right? I didn't study the brain. I just think with the way people talk to me, that there is a correlation between video and celebrity status, regardless of it's the video I do that gets 100 views, or it's, you know, the movie that wins the Oscars.
So now, is this the same thing? Like, you know, you're doing you're waking up, you're doing your social media. It's part of our day to day to now. You know, we're scrolling, we're wishing happy birthdays, we're getting involved, maybe putting out some posts, you know, really trying to be ourselves. It comes down to consistency. We talk about the integration of video. What about Instagram? Like Instagram,
Yeah.
you know, I love Instagram. It's definitely one of my channels I leverage all the time. What's your take on that? Should people be leveraging that? And I mean, I want to dovetail that into, you know, how people share who they are.
So, let me answer this two ways, because I personally hate Instagram. But just for me, right? Like, I think it's a powerful platform. I think the people that should be using it need to be using it. But I don't want people to just, I think a lot of people like you and I, if we're not careful, we can just say stuff like, you're not using Instagram, what's wrong with you?
Right.
But if your ideal client doesn't fit the demographic of Instagram, then I don't think you need to be using Instagram.
That's my you want something like Snapchat. Exactly. I mean,
right. You know, my favorite client for me are 40, 50, and 60-year-old realtors. So I spend way more of my time on Facebook than I do on Instagram.
Okay, there you go.
But if I decided to wake up tomorrow and go, man, you know what? Screw that. I want to go after millennial realtors now. Then obviously I better really, really, really dig into my Instagram presence, because that's where those people are. And so the way I treat it in general, just to help people understand, right, is if I'm doing, like, I always originate video content from Facebook. I almost exclusively go live. And the way I differentiate is if I do a live video that's wide, then I may also download that video and put it on my YouTube channel. If I do it vertical and it's under 10 minutes and it's good, then I'll download it and put it on my IGTV. Right? That's how I kind of create, like, unique content based on the platforms and, you know, visually what they prefer.
See, that's almost like a mind, you know what, for a lot of people, because they go, wait a second, what? So if I what did he say? So let me ask you this then, right? But I mean, seriously, it's like when we were doing the video session in San Fran, one thing I tried to explain to people was record your video. I love to record landscape. I love recording landscape. I get a lot of my back in it. I think it's visually appealing for people. It's great for YouTube. It's great for big screens and all that stuff. And, you know, my stuff gets, you know, shared out from my YouTube channel, frequently from different places, and I don't even know they're grabbing it. And I mean, that's why I leverage YouTube, is because it just makes it so easy for people to grab that link and put it into newsletters and their media and whatever, right? So it's good.
Absolutely.
But I'll record that way. And one thing I taught was how to change your aspect ratios during your editing phase on a very simple little app on your phone to keep this real simple. And so anybody listening, it's called Viva Video. No plug to Viva in a monetary sense in any way. There's just more. That's the app that I happen to download. I think it runs.
I mean, if they want to pay you, you will accept that.
By all means, I accept money. I'm good. I can do that. But I mean, the whole thing being like, going from landscape to portrait to, the square to whatever, and like, trying to take the videos and put them in different places. So, to simplify almost what you just said there in terms of that, for anybody that's gone like, whoa, how do I decide this and that? Just record video, right? Like get comfortable with recording video, looking in the lens, press and record, and then putting the content out there. Now, to that, it always comes back to what to say. And I was comfortable putting up a picture of light bulbs because I'm not scared to click the button. Right. Most people are scared to click the button. So I want to help people understand what kind of content they can put out there. And I want to take this down the road for a moment of telling your story. Okay. And I had somebody who had once time said to me, nobody knows you. They don't know your story. And I got off this call thinking to myself, I don't have a story. I grew up in a good house and I had a roof over my head, and I wasn't stuck just eating crackers. You know what I mean? I've been good. Well, I haven't, I don't know what kind of story, what do I have to share with people? So you start digging through your mind and going, okay, what about that time in high school? Or what about how I grew up? And you're like, I don't know if I want to share that stuff with people. And then it started to hit. And my story is what I am doing right now. Right. Because 100%. The more you tune into what I am doing right now, and the more you see it for that millisecond in your day, and you do that, and I'm doing it more consistently, therefore you're seeing me more consistently, and on go the days. Well, you would have known in the past 24 hours, my story was, I'm going to have this wicked dude named Kyle Draper join me on the Mindshare podcast. I'm doing a Mindshare podcast. I am now live during the Mindshare podcast. At some point, you'll see me, maybe through the editing stages of the Mindshare podcast, right? Yeah. There's maybe my 24-hour story around kind of what I'm up to. Now, that can be expanded well out, right? But how can a realtor tell their story? Like, how do they even figure out what their story is? Why should they be telling that? How do they leverage that to go, okay, I'm listening to these guys go off about social and video and all this stuff today. What can I do to implement that right now when I get off the line? Or how can I implement that right now while I'm listening to these guys?
For sure, bro. So I think the first thing we have to do is we have to realize that the way our minds have been programmed when we hear the word, like, what's your story, that phrase, we're used to watching like Make-A-Wish videos on SportsCenter, right? And Habitat for Humanity, like helping this fan. And so when we think of story, our mind goes to, how do we emotionally connect with people? How do we take this rags to riches story? But so what it comes down to is two words. We've got to stop thinking in terms of, I've got to use my story to help someone. Instead, I need to use my story to relate to someone.
Love it.
Okay. So I just need to figure out how to relate to you, not help you. Right. So I know that like, after you and I are no longer on the air, like, because you've got a Leafs jersey on your wall, like, I love the Stars. Right, like, I'm a big Stars fan.
The who?
And so that team that won a Stanley Cup like 20 years ago, that team. And
I'm sorry, Stanley Cup. The only thing we know about that in Toronto is it sits in the Hall of Fame.
So I know that.
But we plan parades every year.
Hey, bro, nobody in America knows any different. So y'all are good.
Yeah.
Y'all already won because y'all are in Canada. So you're already better than us.
Love it.
But that's like, I don't have to go, man, how can I really enrich Dave's life?
Yeah.
How can no, I just need to pick something to be relatable for.
Right.
Like, that's it. And so if we would we need to put less pressure on ourselves with this whole, like, I just don't have a powerful story. Who cares if you don't have a powerful story? First of all, you do. You just don't recognize it as such because you've personally lived it, right? And so there's two things that I'll give you real quick, and people can take them how they want. There's two words that I think are really powerful with storytelling. The first word is positioning. So there's three positions that I can take with any person. I can choose to be like you. So I speak on a relatable level, on a very, like we're like each other, that level. So as a speaker, there's times where like we want the audience to feel like us, right? To create that moment of connection. Then the next stage is I can choose to lead you, right? So that's number two, is I can position myself as a leader in your life, which is like, guys, I know you don't get this yet, but if you know you need video, follow me, ask me questions, let me help. I promise you, I can get you to where you need to go, right? Now I'm using language that's leading. So we've got relating, leading, and then the third one is challenging. And so this is where I've earned the right to go, Dave, do you really believe that? I know you said you believe it, but I didn't feel like you believed it. Why'd you even say it? And you might for a moment go, whoa, bro, like who are you to say? But I've hopefully earned the right to challenge you in a way because I love you and care about you, right? And I want the best out of you. And so the problem that most of us have is we want to lead and challenge people all the time without having earned the right to do it through building rapport by being relatable, right? So we just want to challenge people, but we haven't earned their trust yet, so they just think we're a-holes.
So this is where the idea of get involved in sharing who you are, what you're up to, and just connecting with people
100%,
on a regular
man.
basis comes in.
100%. I posted the other day, similar to your light bulb thing, like I am not a handyman at all. Yeah. Like I am like my wife's, like our tools are pink in our house. Like that's just like my wife is just better with that stuff than I am. And I've got to admit, like it took until I got older to be cool with that and not feel ashamed.
Yeah. When you got that pink hammer in your hand. No offense.
So, but I don't even remember what I was saying. Sometimes I try to be
coffee, bro.
sometimes I try to be funny and I totally lose my train of thought. I was going somewhere with that.
Well, let me ask you this though. No worries. Let me ask you this, because I know you do have a group of people that are waiting for you to jump up in front of them, and I mean, like usual, these conversations can keep going, but this has been an awesome one today, and I'd love to pick this one back up with you. I mean,
yeah,
even
man.
Off air, I know we will. But final words of inspiration for our listeners. Anything there that you just kind of want to leave behind, something there that they can walk away with today, or anything based on anything we talked about.
Man, so what I'll end with is just a simple statement of stop hoping to reap from the seeds you didn't sow.
Nice.
I think so many people want to claim the flag of surrender with social media because it's not working for them, but it's because they're just hoping that it will work and they're not actually sowing the seed. Right? I've yet to meet someone that has said, yeah, man, I've done video every week for 6 months and it sucks and I've got nothing. Like, I don't hear that story.
No.
I hear the story of, man, video doesn't work for me. And when I dig a little deeper, what I really find out is I did video twice and then I stopped. And now I just claim that it doesn't work for me. Like, I know you say it's a big deal, but it just doesn't work. Like, my people don't care. And so stop hoping to reap from the seeds you didn't sow. Get out there and start sowing seed. And watch fruit start to bear. Right?
But that takes time.
Absolutely it does. And so I tell people, I said, that was what I was going to end on. I guess I'll end on this. This is my second part B ending.
Go for it.
Is I tell people all the time, video is a long-term investment with short-term bonuses.
You mean so?
Because
I was going to say, so it's kind of like your real estate marketing and your real estate business is kind of like you tell your clients that real estate is a long-term investment.
100%. That's absolutely right.
I love it, bro.
But you will have that random video where, because of that video, somebody goes, dude, I'm so glad I saw your video today. I almost forgot you're a realtor. Can we meet about my house? So that's that short-term bonus that can happen as we're creating that long-term opportunity.
But you got to be in it for the long haul.
Absolutely, bro.
Dude, where can people go to learn more about you, Coach Kyle? Where can they go? I mean, I know I browsed your website yesterday. There is a ton of content on there. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, KyleDraper.com. My website sucks. I'm probably gonna redo it soon, but the content's good there. It's just not the coolest looking website. But KyleDraper.com. On Facebook, go look up Top of Mind Selling. That's my private group that's just for real estate agents and lenders. And so that's it, man. They can find me in those places.
Cool. So KyleDraper.com. Everybody find him. I know on Instagram, Coach Kyle Draper. You'll find him on Facebook. I mean, again, we had met back in San Fran, and this has been real easy and just as suspected, very cool conversation today.
Yeah, man, it was awesome.
Thank you once again for making the time.
Yeah, bro. Thank you for having me. Let's do it again.
I'm in 100%. You're either listening to this on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, anywhere that podcasts are available. Maybe you went to theindustrysyndicate.com. Maybe you downloaded our free Industry Syndicate podcast app. Or maybe you went to my website, mindshare101.com. Wherever you like to consume your content, please rate, review, and subscribe. And if you haven't yet, connect with me on Facebook at Mindshare101 and on Instagram at DavidGreenspan101. This has been another episode of the Mindshare Podcast. Thank you, everyone, for listening.